So again, I will say, like, right up front, I'm not an expert, but of course you can talk to like 4 experts and get 5 opinions.
That's right.
No one knows. So here's how I think about it. There's a guy named Chuck Friedman. He's sort of like the father of what we call medical informatics. But and a lot of my research has been in how do we use information tools to improve the practice of medicine. And he had what he called like the general theory of informatics, which I still think applies to all of this. It was, people think that our goal should be like right now, like, machine is less than person, and that the future would be machine is greater than person. But the real truth is that always machine plus person is better than person. Like, that's our goal. It's not taking the human out of it. It's that us with these kinds of tools are better than us alone. And that is the goal. And that's the truth. And I absolutely believe, that's reasonably short-term where we're headed with AI in so many areas. And that, like, humans will be able to work with these tools in ways that are far better than they could have done by themselves. But I don't see them in the near term replacing. Like, people are still needed for a variety of things. It will change the way that we work. Just like I, with this, am way better than I was without this.
He's holding up, for the record, a giant dildo.
No, it's a smartphone. But I could say the same thing about the computer. I could say the same thing about the internet. I could say the same, like, all these things. And I don't think that this is big, and I think this will change many, many things, because it will be able to help us with things that we otherwise couldn't do. But I don't see it massively like replacing a ton of jobs and them going completely away, because we've been here before. In the sense of, like, people have worried this will replace humans, this will be out of jobs. We do new jobs, we learn new careers, we learn new things. And it's like, and if we get to a world where, like, everything just becomes easier and we can all have much more leisure time than we used to, oh my God, why are we all so panicked about that? Back in the day, and it wasn't that long ago, the vast majority of humans on Earth spent most of their time thinking about, how am I going to get the food to eat today? Everyone had to, like, hunt and gather their own food. And even, when we've developed agriculture, well into, like, just a couple hundred years ago, huge amounts of productivity were still spent on, like, how do we feed ourselves? And then once we figured out how to do commercial agriculture, huge numbers of people didn't have to do that anymore. So they do other things. And I think in my heart, that's what will be in the future. We'll learn we can do other things, and maybe those things will be great. But I don't necessarily worry that this is going to be like an instantaneous, like, world crush ending. When people, like, worry about, talk about the things and the stuff you see in science fiction and everything else, there's still a lot of humans that would have to be involved in things before we get to the point where, like, Skynet's going to take over and murder us all. And so I don't really worry about that too much. I do agree we need to be careful, because, of course, tools can be used for bad, as we've seen with lots of other tools in the world, including the internet, and including computers. But and I do think we could be more careful, and I hope that we will, because these things can also be used for, racism and disparities and lots of other things, which people are noting and trying to fix right now. But I don't worry about, like, we're all going to be, out of a job, anarchy on the streets, massive disruptions, to the world instantaneously. Hopefully it will be gradual over time, and we'll learn how to deal with it.
I'm glad to hear that. And I'll mark you down as pro-robot, anti-human. Got it. Okay.
No. Robots with humans are better than humans. Like,
sorry, everything has to be binary. Pick one, or else I won't get ratings. And then I'm going to caption it, like the the thumbnails. Aaron Carroll, after the very thoughtful, nuanced response. Aaron Carroll, pro-robot, and then I'll get clicks, and then everything will be better for me. Okay, I'll.